by taking that off. Just run it along the bone. It's kind of like you're filleting a fish almost. Okay, we're gonna save all these scraps. Maybe not the big fatty part, but anything with meat on it, we're gonna save it, and we're gonna use this in our sauce. So, okay, now we're gonna let's trim this fat. Okay, get down. You have the silver skin here. I'm gonna go ahead and pull the silver skin off. Save all those silver skin. That has good flavor for the sauce. Okay. All right. Okay, now we're gonna get these pieces out here. We're gonna make the bones look a little bit longer, a little bit sexier. Okay, we're gonna save these. A lot of guys fry these up, throw some buffalo sauce and salt on them. They're great. So let's save those. Okay, so that's that. Take the silver skin off. You know, a lot of times when you go to a restaurant and say, oh, steak was tough. Probably was a good cut of steak, but they probably just didn't take the time to trim it right. Just a little tenderloin right there. We're gonna leave that on. Back looks clean. Sometimes there'll be silver skin right here. You could take it one step further. You could scrape these bones. Give them a little scrape. So give them a little scraperoo. Good back. So. Okay, so there's one right there, ready to roll. Don't need to like really do a lot to it. I'll show you again. I know that was quick. When you're a chef, you have to work quick. I mean, you will never last in the kitchen if you're slow. Never. You'll get berated out of the universe. So, all right, here we go again. We got our fat. You can just tell. You can tell where the meat is. You can feel where the fat is. Just come in here. Start right here. Just like you're filleting a fish. Down the top. Okay, this fat right here. Okay. Okay, that's about it. This lamb is clean. A lot of times there'll be silver skin and fat all running down here, but these are really clean. Now we're going to get this deckle meat out in between. Right here. These little ribbies. Okay. All right, got all those cleaned off. This little ridge of fat right here. A little piece of silver skin right here. You could take this off, this little tenderloin off right here, but when you're doing it for food and beverage, you want to keep that on for yield. So here we go, and then we're just going to run the knife down the top. Let's get a lot of that off of there. Around the back. This stuff will curl up, pretty much disappear when you're cooking it. Okay, that's it. We have our nice 2 racks of lamb right here. So we're going to season them up, and just going to use salts. I'm one of those chefs, I believe less is more. I don't like to put a lot of weird ingredients. You know, my customers, I want them to be familiar with what they've had before. You know, I don't want to reinvent the, you know, try to come up with something new. Okay, that's that. A little garlic. A little onion. Okay. We're going to pan-sear these. We're going to make a beautiful herb crust, a Dijon herb crust to go on top of them. So now I'm going to proceed to searing them. Okay, so what you want to do is, I had this rondo here, this pan, and you want your oil smoking hot. There's our seasoned breadcrumbs. They're for later. They're for the third step. So you can do this ahead of time. You can actually do this, you know, sometimes I do it hours before when I'm really busy. So the oil's smoking. I don't know if you can see that. So we're just going to lay these in there. And we're not going to, this is not the full cooking process. We're just going to sear these. We're going to develop a nice caramelization, a nice crust on them, and because that's what's going to develop the flavor. And that's what's going to develop the fond in the pan. See, I already have a nice lamb stock right here that I had made earlier, and then I'm going to fortify it with those little scraps. And so, okay, so now we're at step 2, and I'm going to brown these, and then I'll show you the next step after that. Okay, so now they've been searing for a minute. Now we're going to flip them over. Going to sear the back side of them. It's got a nice color. That's what you want. When you get done with this, they're still going to be blue. Blue in the restaurant business means rare, so they're going to be rare. Raw, actually. And so we're actually going to finish these in a 350 oven. So we got these browning the backside now, and then we'll proceed to step 3. Okay, so now we've seared them. Back looks good. Okay, onto the pan here. We're just going to hold them here. Okay, we have our scraps. In go the scraps. We're taking advantage of this. This is called a fond. We're building up layers of flavor here, so we're going to brown this up. These are the little riblets here. These are great. These are for the chef to snack on. Okay, so now we're going to brown these up. And these right here, this will feed, these 2 racks will feed 3 guys. Or like in a restaurant situation, you'd sell a half a rack. Each person would get, you know, 1, 2. Each person would get half a rack, so depending on the restaurant. But this will feed 3 guys. So, you know, just plan for that. You got big eaters, you know, you might want to get more, an extra one, but they're kind of pricey at 30 bucks a piece. GoPro, stop recording. Okay, so now we have our little scraps crisped up. That's going to make a lot of flavor. I've drained the fat out of it, so you definitely want to do that. You don't want a greasy sauce. You don't have to like try to skim it. So I'm going to add, where'd it go? Okay, I'm going to add some red onions. They were out of shallots at Ingles, of course. And then we're going to add, this is a trade secret right here. We're going to add some green peppercorns. Oh, I wish you could smell that. Okay. Green peppercorns in there. You take a back of the spoon. We're going to smash up some of these green peppercorns. Release all the flavor. Okay. We have a beautiful bottle of wine here. 2015. A nice Burgundy. You don't want too much. It's going to be... Okay, so we have a separate pan here. We have our fond. This is about done. It's probably been in here about a half an hour. And then we have another pan. Always use stainless steel when you're cooking sauces and stuff like that. You don't want your food to taste like a battleship. So I have a few peppercorns in here, and we're just going to crush them down. This is going to develop the flavor of the peppercorns. But this is a traditional Ed Poivre sauce, and we're going to strain this into this pan right here. So we're going to smash these down. I like to leave a few whole. Okay. Okay, so I've strained the fond off that we made before in a basket strainer here. And then we're going to take a spoon. I'm just going to get all the flavor out of this. When I first started working in the kitchens in the 80s, this right here, the leftovers and stuff, we would like mix with rice and pasta, and like this would be like a cook, or when I was a dishwasher, this would be our meal for the night. So I learned a lot from those guys. I learned a lot from watching. I learned a lot of life lessons from the Mexican cooks and the Mexican dishwashers in the places where I worked. So we have our fond here. We're going to reduce this down some more. So we have peppercorns in there, and we have our nice fond, and this is going to be a nice rich sauce. So I'm going to let it reduce some more. You can add flour. I don't like, in my cuisine, I don't add a lot of flour. I think this is a nice au jus. You know, nice and light like this. This is a perfect sauce. I mean, you can mount some butter. You can put some like warm butter in there and thicken it up a little bit, but we're just going to keep it like this. But I wish you could smell this. This is a beautiful flavor. We've developed the flavors. We've built it up like you build a house. You start with the foundation and you build your way up. So this is our sauce. It's about done. And then you're going to see the last process, which is finishing and cooking the rack salam in the oven. GoPro turn. Okay, so now it's time to encrust these. I make this Dijon mustard. I work like an 8-month season, so I make it in the beginning of the season. It came out okay this time. It's great for salad dressings and this, but it's just I don't know. It's got kind of a floral taste to it this time. But we're just gonna coat the top of these, a nice coating. Okay, and then we're gonna hit it in our herb breadcrumbs that we have. I'm gonna take them, push them down, pack them down on there. You want it to stick. So we have one. We got two. Okay, so now these are ready for a 350 oven for about 25 minutes. You don't want to cook them more than about 137 in the middle. You want a medium rare. Some people like it, more well done or whatever, but 137 is a good temperature, so that's where we're at, and we'll proceed to the next phase. Okay, here we go. It's coming out of the oven. It's done. It's rested. You want to rest your meat like in a warming oven, or just covered up with tin foil on top of the stove for at least 5 minutes. And every 2 chops. Perfectly cooked.